This Emirati energy manager has done what few in the energy world have managed. He's led ADNOC through a period of transformation while navigating the tricky path between oil and clean energy. The story really grabbed attention in 2023 when he stood at COP28 and delivered the UAE Consensus, signaling a shift that people hadn't expected from someone running a major oil company. To understand how that moment came to be, you have to go back to the start. Sultan Al Jaber grew up in Al Quwain in the 1970s, in a country still defining itself economically and socially. His family encouraged education, and he quickly gravitated towards science and engineering. Studying chemical engineering in the United States gave him a foundation in the technical workings of energy systems, but he didn't stop there. He pursued an MBA and a PhD in business and economics in the UK, combining analytical rigor with an understanding of markets and policy. These experiences didn't just give him credentials, they shaped how he approaches complex systems, balancing technical feasibility, economic reality, and social impact. He returned to the UAE and joined ADNOC as an engineer. Those early years gave him insight into the machinery and logistics that underpin oil production, and it also provided him with a clear view of the human side, the engineers, operators, and planners who make operations work. That grounding was crucial later when he introduced sweeping organizational and investment changes. His credibility among technical teams allowed him to push the company in new directions without alienating the people who kept it running. In 2006, he faced one of his first major tests, establishing Masdar, Abu Dhabi's renewable energy initiative. It was a gamble in a nation whose wealth was built on oil, but he treated it as a practical experiment rather than a PR exercise. Masdar City emerged as a living laboratory for sustainable urban planning, solar energy, and clean technology. The goal wasn't to abandon fossil fuels overnight, it was to demonstrate that an oil-rich nation could develop parallel systems for the future. By 2009, Masdar helped the UAE secure the headquarters for the International Renewable Energy Agency, the first major international energy organization in the Middle East. That achievement put both Al Jaber and the UAE on the global energy map, showing that influence could be exercised through strategy, not just scale. It was also an early lesson in balancing domestic ambition with international visibility, something that would recur throughout his career. During the same period, Al Jaber led Abu Dhabi Ports as chairman, overseeing projects like Khalifa Port and the Khalifa Industrial Zone. These weren't just infrastructure achievements. They were experiments in integration. Trade, industrial growth, and energy systems were interlinked to reduce dependency on oil revenues alone. Delivering these projects efficiently and ahead of schedule reinforced his reputation for consistent execution rather than flashy announcements. Returning to ADNOC as Group CEO in 2016, Al Jaber confronted a state-owned company accustomed to secrecy and traditional practices. He introduced a new partnership model, opening up assets to global investors and orchestrating IPOs for ADNOC distribution, ADNOC drilling, and ADNOC gas. These moves forced transparency, instilled market discipline, and provided the capital for strategic diversification. He was careful not to overextend. Investments in future energy technologies were deliberate and paired with ongoing production growth, a reflection of his dual-track philosophy. He also made conscious choices about what not to do. He didn't chase hype in renewables, and he didn't attempt to dismantle the existing oil infrastructure. Instead, hydrogen, carbon capture, and chemical acquisitions like Covestro were integrated alongside traditional operations. This approach embraced complexity and reflected real-world constraints rather than idealized solutions. In the early 2020s, he added the role of Minister of Industry and Advanced Technology, while continuing as Special Envoy for Climate Change. The dual responsibilities could have led to conflicts, but he aligned industrial expansion with energy transition strategies. For example, the Operation 300 Billion initiative aimed to triple the industrial sector's contribution to GDP, while linking growth to energy efficiency and sustainability targets. COP28 became the public manifestation of his philosophy. Critics questioned whether an oil executive could champion climate diplomacy, but the UAE Consensus demonstrated a pragmatic path forward, acknowledging ongoing fossil fuel reliance while committing to gradual, measurable transitions. That balance between ambition and realism defines how ADNOC operates under his leadership. Within ADNOC, this dual-track strategy continues. The company targets net zero carbon emissions by 2045, investing in emerging technologies without undermining current production. Projects are built to coexist with oil operations, showing that large-scale transformation doesn't require abandoning present-day imperatives. The focus is on tangible infrastructure, data-driven efficiency, and strategic investment across multiple energy pathways. Scaling ADNOC has meant integrating energy, infrastructure, and industrial operations into a cohesive system. Each project is designed to reinforce another, creating resilience against fluctuations in global oil markets. This systemic approach reflects lessons learned from Masdar, Abu Dhabi ports, and early engineering experiences. It's about creating an ecosystem rather than isolated wins. Over time, Al Jaber's leadership has reshaped expectations for energy companies in the Gulf. ADNOC is no longer just a producer, it is a participant in broader energy transitions, demonstrating how a national company can maintain profitability while preparing for long-term change. This influence has extended beyond operations into geopolitics and finance, positioning ADNOC and the UAE as reliable partners for international investors. The narrative of ADNOC under Al Jaber is defined by decisions, trade-offs, and deliberate sequencing. There are no shortcuts, no slogans, just a steady hand guiding complex systems through change. It's a story of infrastructure, strategy, and governance, where every project has purpose and every investment is measured against real-world constraints. Culturally, the brand has endured because it bridges tradition and future-oriented thinking. ADNOC is recognizable not only for its economic weight, but for its role in shaping national strategy and identity. It's embedded in daily life, funding education, healthcare, and urban development, which makes its operational choices consequential beyond the boardroom. Al Jaber's career and ADNOC's evolution under him demonstrate a central truth about leadership in complex systems. Lasting impact comes not from hype or symbolic gestures, but from thoughtful, sustained action over decades. Change is incremental, multidimensional, and requires managing the tensions between old and new, production and innovation, local imperatives and global visibility. Ultimately, the story isn't about picking oil or renewables. It's about managing the space between them. It's about making the right choices, staying grounded in technical knowledge, and aligning investments with systemic goals. COP28 was a milestone, yes, but it reflected a long trajectory of strategic, sometimes contradictory, decisions that shaped both a company and a nation. ADNOC's story is inseparable from Al Jaber's own, an ongoing experiment in balancing growth, responsibility, and foresight in the energy world.